Originally from Baltimore, graduating from the University of Virginia in 2010 with a degree in English and Modern Studies. Next year, she remains in Charlottesville to obtain her accelerated master's in English in 2011. While at the university, she served as an editor on staff for the Virginia Literary Review and was a member of the Jefferson Literary and Debating Society. She studied in London, England during the summer before her third year and was able to observe global culture, art, and economics under the guidance of many esteemed British professors and historians. Though never a lead participant, she is familiar with the Darden and has worked in the publishing industry, primarily writing and editing business magazines and textbooks. She will write for Darden's Business Roundtable Center for the Corporate Ethics later this summer. Ultimately, Erin hopes to uniquely combine her interests in literature, culture, and business within the framework of the larger social and commercial organizations. How to get there? Perhaps law or business future in the near future. Otherwise, Erin enjoys cooking, yoga, and watching Mad Men. And now, Erin is up.
Thanks, Maria. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about search engine optimization. And it's not ironic, it's not coincidental that I searched search engine optimization first to get myself started. I even searched how to take a screen pic on a Mac to get myself started. First of all, though, do any of you know what SEO is, or search engine optimization is? Do you have an idea, Elon?
Isn't it like how you type in something into a search engine, like the way you add quotation marks, or you like put in like ands and caps or something so that the computer like knows exactly what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's definitely a part of it, and there's actually a specific term for that I'll get to. Sergio?
Isn't how you like name your website, like the keywords in it, so then when like the Google spiders crawl over like the information on your website, like it comes up first?
Right, yeah, you hit on a few terms there that I'll be going over, and the keyword is definitely the keyword. How might a business use search engine optimization? Not from a consumer perspective where we're searching ourselves, but how might a business be very conscious of search engine optimization? Morgan?
If wanting to be searched, they're going to put certain terms in certain places in their website, so when people Google them or search them, they'll pop up first through fifth.
Yeah, that's really good. So the objectives for a business will definitely include visibility. I think that I'm not the only one who gets really tired of clicking through the multiple pages of Google when I search something. I want to come across something pretty quickly because my time's important to me. Especially as we get older and as we are actually searching for services and products and we don't have a lot of time on our hands, it's pretty important to come up with within the first 1 or 2 pages of Google. But now, there are millions and billions of websites, so how do you get into those top 20 results? And there are some strategies that you can observe, and then there are some things that you can do on your specific website, and that we'll do in our projects, hopefully, so that when someone tries to search keywords in a search engine, your website will come up quickly. Other things to keep in mind when you're using keywords to come up in search is that you're going to be associated with different websites that are going to come before and after you in a search engine, so you want to be conscious of what kind of class you're putting your business in when you use words in headings in order to sort of give the right impression. You don't want to come up next to a site that has nothing to do with your product either, because then consumers will get the wrong idea about what your website's all about. Also, just demographically, it's important to understand how people are finding your website, what kind of search engines they're using, what kind of keywords they're associating with your product. So that's sort of important when you're doing a Google search and you're thinking about how to become sort of visible. And again, also when you do a Google search, you're going to recognize the class of competitors that you're with. So even if you Google your name, you'll recognize, maybe sometimes you'll come up next to a classmate who did a similar project as you or something. So you want to know what kind of group you're being associated with. And as a consumer, as Elon mentioned, there are a few kind of tools that you can use to find things more quickly. So you want to be able to do things efficiently, you want to be able to match businesses with your personal needs pretty much immediately, and you don't want to be frustrated. So there are some strategies that you can take yourselves while you're searching in order to optimize your own experience. Also, you want to be able to gauge the reliability of the information you're getting. So if you search a keyword and a website pops up and then you go to that website and you find out that it's not very reliable, you want to be able to sort of like pick up on trends. certain keywords don't work as well as others, and that will help your experience. So there's some basic vocabulary, and thanks to Sergio, we got a couple of them already knocked out of the water. So it's spiders are first. Those are the computer robots. I don't really even know how to envision them, and I was going to put a picture of a spider there, but then that didn't really seem appropriate because they're not actually spiders. That crawl through the web and index and document the keywords in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of websites every day, every hour. Google actually has 4 crawlers. They do 100 sites per second. That means that they do 6,000 sites per minute, 360 per hour, and 8,640,000 per day. So yeah, you can get a sense of how many websites these spiders are crawling, so you want to be able to, manage your way through to the top of these, because otherwise you're going to be lost in this myriad of websites. Meta tags are sort of the most important way that you're going to be able to control where your website pops up on search. And a lot of you who have blogs might be familiar with metadata already, because when you have a template on a blog, they'll often call it the metadata. So you can use keywords in headings and in subtitles and in other strategic locations on your website that the spiders will recognize and weigh more on your score, so that you'll come up higher on the search engine under these keywords. There are different strategies for spiders to apply a score, sometimes to a word. Sometimes it's the frequency, sometimes it's where it's placed on the page, if it's in the first 20 lines, definitely headings, titles. It depends specifically to the search engine you're using. They all have their own sort of unique algorithm and formula for it. We'll actually go into Google's algorithm a little bit just so we can gauge how much weight is placed on certain terms. Next is the ranking. That's pretty self-explanatory when you're looking at the sites which come up first, and I'll actually go back to that PDD site that we did. I did a Google search and I did another search of it just to see how the 2 sites rank them differently, because we spent a lot of time figuring out why certain things came up first and why we would care, that sort of thing. And as Elon was talking about, the Boolean operators are actually a term for the keywords that you use as a consumer to do your search. So you can specify and, or, not. If you want one word to always follow another within your search because it's important, you would say followed by, you could use quotation marks. All of them will narrow your search more directly. And then now there are 2 sort of themes when it comes to search. This is a little bit more abstract. There's concept-based search, which focuses more on your keywords and your search terms, and then finds other websites utilizing those by statistical analysis. Statistical analysis, that's way above my level of education. The second is actually something that is more curious to me, which is the natural language search. So more and more you can just type in a question to Google as if you're just asking a person. AskJeeves.com was the first website search engine to start utilizing this method, but it didn't really catch on. Now that Google's doing it, it's a little bit more common. I actually have some funny examples. If you start typing a question in Google, you all have probably already done this, where you just say how do I? And then you'll come up with 10 examples, and you can't really tell if those are the most commonly used examples, or if that's just Google playing around and coming up with funny sort of examples of it, but I don't really think that, why does it have a method? I don't think that's the most commonly searched question. So someone at Google, I think, is playing around with us, but it makes my internet experience a little bit more amusing, so I appreciate it. Do you want me to go back? Oh, I can't go back.